Hey guys, welcome to Coma Pirate Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's been a little while, but we are back, pulling our boats together, throwing some ropes, tying some knots, talking about some maps. And today in the Cosmic Dialogue, we have a Virgo Sun and a Libra Mars. The Sun is the birthday kid. Okay, he always gets to talk first. But Mars is so pushy. He is over there waving his hands, jumping up and down because he wants to talk first. No, Mars, calm down. Hold your horses. The Sun gets to talk first in Virgo. So I pull the 9 of diamonds. There is the Sun in the 19 of the tarot. The 9 goes beyond the perfect. It is crisis and regeneration. It's the point of the race where you see the finish line and you're almost there and you just dig as deep as you can to find whatever you have in you to push forward to win the race. I feel this very much in Virgo energy of just this excitement for life, this exuberance, this, yes, I am going to reach into my life and make it happen. This idea of perfection in Virgo. And the Virgo being so emotionally young and pure about it. Never having really experienced the wild places yet. Never being scarred yet. That's the energy of Virgo. The purity. The innocence. I feel this Sun singing. It's my party and I'll cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. Cry if I want to. You would cry too if it happened to you. Oh, you would. If it happened to you, the way it's happened to me. Oh my God. Sinking into living multidimensionally. The Hermit has his lantern. The light, the wisdom, the experience. He has decided to exile himself, only to share his light with the select few. But the Sun, on the other hand, works in abundance. I mean, really abundance, like ginormous. Can you see it? Can you hold the image of a candle and the size of what a candle would be and the reality of how big the Sun is? Next to that candle that you're holding, can you really? It is hard. It is hard. Don't think that's an easy exercise. Try it yourself. Really take a few minutes. See the difference between the candle flame and the Sun. The Sun is here for all life, all of it, shining down in total abundance. The Sun accepts all things. You feel the difference in those two parties? One, you got the slumber party at the hermit cave. And then you got the solar party in the middle of the field where the whole school comes. Here we have the 9 of diamonds. So we sink into this diamond feeling. Again, diamonds of purity. Purity of earth. The pentacles. The monetary abundance. The physical existence on earth. This birthday kid really wants to highlight the difference between when to throw the slumber party and when to throw the solar party. This birthday kid is best friends in trine with Jupiter, the boss, Uranus, the tech guy, and Pluto, the emo kid. Now, when you've got these guys, right? Okay, so they're your best friends. The boss, the owner of the place, the tech guy that, can throw a really awesome laser show. And then you've got the emo kid. It almost makes you feel like these guys would just throw a private party and put it on social media. With Uranus. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And the emo kid, Pluto, he doesn't want too many people there. And the boss, he owns the place. So it's not even like you're having to pay for the party. It's just, it's feeling like a personal party. Absolutely. The Virgo Sun wants just the slumber party. The study group. Let's just get together. Let's just us get together. I feel that. Just a group dancing around the fire in the middle of the woods, Feel that. Now, he's in opposition with Neptune. Neptune is the bartender. The bartender is connected with the collective consciousness in that he serves the elixirs at the party, right? He gets everybody on the same page through the plant medicine, through the astrology, through the spirituality. And that opposition, the Virgo Sun doesn't even, she's not even thinking about the bar. She doesn't want to think about the bar. She just wants to get together and have a study group and do some social media stuff, right? Like do some TikTok videos and show your emotions, like show it to the world, right? And is not thinking about Neptune. So now that Mars is about to jump out of his seat, he wants to talk so bad. I feel him because he's starting to feel this Virgo Sun as, yeah, I see it. He's feeling her as Venus, for sure. So he wants to go to the party. Now, for this Libra, a very balanced Mars, Mars is the jock at the party, the best player of the whole school, wearing the Letterman jacket. And I pull a 3 of diamonds. So we stick with this earth, this really let's talk about this physical existence. And in the 3, we have a coming together to create the triangle, which is interesting, the triangle. Let's get together. He's wanting to get together, okay? But I have this wicked deja vu because this card came out not too long ago in response, like Neptune was talking. And with this Sun's opposition to Neptune, and then Mars bringing this card, making me think of Neptune, it made me really feel like Mars wanted to bring attention to the bar. But Mars is like, let's go to the bar, guys. Come on. Mars is the god of war. He is just red and bloody and masculine, the sacred masculine. But in Libra, he's very fair. He comes in and, really, to be fair, the only thing that can drown out the echoes of war is the bar, is Neptune, the collective conscious. It really makes you feel at this solar party, the elixirs that Neptune serves can heal Mars's war wounds. Because, okay, if Mars wants to be invited to the slumber party, because he's friends, but he's like, he can't behave because he's been to war. And he doesn't know how to behave because he's been to war. PTSD, war wounds, for real. He doesn't know how to behave himself. He doesn't know how to talk quietly. He doesn't know how to be respectful. He just wants to jump around and let's show each other our cocks. Talk about our lingams. Mars wants to balance the light and the dark. He wants to balance this sweet slumber party and bring this, if we're talking about kink, he's starting to feel like he kind of wants to brand this Virgo sun. And it's like, let's do some heavy freaking ceremony. And those that understand, kink and a lot of different, deeper occultic ceremonies that have, pricked their fingers or cut themselves or done tattoos, understands this balance between light and dark. Now here in the 3, we have the Empress and Death in 13. Talk about this polar opposite, light and death. We have this bursting life force, wild Empress that's just bursting with greenery. And we have Death, this rest in peace, quiet cemetery, like nothing moves. And if it moves, it's scary. You know what I mean? Can you feel the difference between those two energies? And Mars is really wanting to say, we have to protect and balance the wild spaces. We can't let it all become concrete. As we are watching the globe change and society expand, and starting to really understand what's going on globally with the environment, when we know the word ecocide and what it means, I have to say, you should definitely read the book Unseen Beings by Eric Jampa Anderson. Totally. I'll try to remember to put the link below. This Mars has a lot to say, and he's learned a lot. He has so much wisdom and knowledge to give. And I can feel sometimes that Virgo sun who's emotionally crying with the emo kid. Here we got that emo kid Mars, the emo kid's secretly in love with this Virgo sun and is just happy to be in her arms. But she's crying over Mars because Mars was an asshole. Can we feel that? Yeah. Mars can be an asshole. He needs temperance. He needs this death energy to balance out this explosive energy that he has, that he's always been able to have. The energy that lets him win the games, that lets him win the wars and protect the family and control the battlefield. Hear Mars saying, I would rather die on the battlefield than not play the game and die of old age. Who wants to get old? Who wants to feel their skin sag and their bones start to ache and their teeth fall out? Who wants that? I want to die young. I want to die protecting my family. This is the Three of Diamonds, Mars. The earth, the physical. This physical earth is, kind of like a vacation home, right? And it's really interesting to dive into this idea because I am really witnessing sea turtles becoming a tourist attraction for vacationers, and how that there are a lot of people on this vacation planet that don't give a shit about it at all. It's just here for them, you know what I mean? Like, they don't have any other mind space at all for anything. 11:11. In the unseen beings, it's called human centrism. That was the first time I had heard that. I was like, whoa. It's the idea that humans are the most important, significant, and central entities in the universe. Now, that also Mars wants to state, this Libra Mars, it's like there's different perspectives on that. There's those that, the wicked witches, the wicked warlocks that know what they're doing and do it anyway and don't give a fuck. There are those. But there are also the innocent monkeys that just eat one bite of fruit and then throw it on the ground, and they don't have any idea of what waste is or what it's about. So you have these humans that are just throwing waste everywhere. The trash is very, very apparent when the roads get paved. I've never before seen the change of no trash, and occasionally I might see, a little piece of trash here and there from somebody's burn pit that I would pick up, no big deal. But when the roads got paved, mounds of trash bags and trash just thrown at the end of the road. Never before seen until the roads were paved. I want to protect the wild places. Mars is just screaming. He's screaming. This place is holy. It holds so many spirits and unseen beings that are not humans, that matter, that their life is important too. The turtles have a right. This has been their beach forever. And just because you don't want to drive through the river, you want a freaking bridge, and you have the money to buy it, well, that just means more money for the tourists because they can come see the turtles. But Mars wants to protect the fairies, the gnomes, the sprites, the hungry ghosts. Mars wants to take the red pill. Of course it's the color red. The color of stability, root chakra energy. I am safe and secure. Funny how the media uses it as the color of an emergency. And you know what I came to realize? There is no such thing as an emergency. It does not exist. Emergency, the state of an emergency, is a vibration of the people. the media uses this vibration of emergency to control the vibration of the people to keep them oppressed. I have lived here when it has flooded, and yes, the electricity goes out in the jungle, and yes, the rivers flood in the jungle, and yes, you have to drive through the rivers sometimes, and yes, the dirt roads keep you moving very slow. But I tell you, the second they pave the roads, the wild places are gone. It brings a tidal wave that comes with it. Now this Libra Mars is sextile with Venus. So, yeah, I feel Mars has a very strong, pranic, prick hard on for Venus. And I feel him seeing the Virgo Sun. Now he's also quintile with Jupiter. And this Virgo Sun also is best friends with Jupiter. So you know, like this Mars has somebody that's got his back at the party, at the slumber party. He's like, hey, dude, you're going to her party? You're going to her party? Can you like tell her something for me? Can you like tell her I'm sorry, or like tell her I love her? Or can you give her this like note and just tell her I'm sorry? He's also in opposition to Chiron. Now, Chiron is the wounded healer. Mars doesn't even know what a wound is. It's just the way life is. He lives in the wound. He doesn't know purity anymore because he has been to war. Mars has a hard time understanding what Virgo energy is all about, especially with an opposition to Chiron. I mean, he's best friends with the boss, so he's like, yo. Of course he's best friends with the boss, because the boss got the money to buy the venue, because he's the jock Mars's agent. You know what I mean? Like, for real. For real. But Chiron is the one that turns the party into the ceremony. It's easy to think, oh, well, that's cool. Those of us that love ceremonies, you know, they're like, oh, yeah, awesome. Yes, do it. But the thing that Chiron has that people aren't really very comfortable with is that Chiron is this healer that healing can hurt sometimes. Like, if you watch Neverending Story, it's got to hurt to heal. It's got to hurt to heal. And Virgo, the Virgo Sun doesn't want to hear that. Not at her slumber party. She just wants the, emo kid's shoulder to be like, yes. I'll go to the depths of the most depressed feelings in the world with you. And Mars is like, I can't go there or I can't win the game. I can't win the game. He's got a game that he has to practice for coming up soon. And when you take the ceremony out of Mars's party, it just becomes, it becomes the frat club party, which, not judging Libra Mars, he's like, you got to balance the two. Both can be fun and both can be painful, for real. But Mars can be a drunken asshole. And Venus can point that out, and it really hurts Mars's feelings. Because Mars knows he can be an asshole. And, that's why Mars feels so safe at the brothel. That's why the god of war likes to hang out in brothels. With the bartender, right? With the bar. Because he's got his drinks, his elixirs, his medicines. He's got beautiful women dancing around him. And it's all consensual at the solar party anyway. We're not talking about brothels that are non-consensual, that are icky. No. Here at the solar party, we're only speaking of girls that also love the party, the brothel, the bar, the bartender, the plant medicines, And she doesn't judge Mars. She'll sit on his lap. I mean, she'll talk about him behind his back maybe with her girlfriends, but, she's still sweet and loving and gives him kisses, even though, he might be loud and obnoxious and tell bad jokes and, act the fool. But Mars gets to a point where he wants a queen. And queens don't hang out at brothels. But the empresses do. Now, the empresses, they are bursting forth. But the high priestess energy is more of this Virgo perfectionism in the books, study group, library feeling. The air, right? The airiness, the mindfulness. And the Libra Mars wants to balance the two. And internally, for yourself, for this internal solar party, your Mars wants to have both, and he can have both. And you need both. You need the Empress to balance out the energy of the High Priestess. You need the masculine to balance out the energy of the feminine. You need the Hermit to balance out the energy of the Sun. You starting to feel me? You need Death to balance the energy of life. Now, last time the Empress came out, literally the water portal exploded. The water portal here at Coma is the water tank that the water is pumped out of the well into the tank that's up high, and then it falls into the house basically with water pressure. And as I pulled the 3, the Empress came to mind and the water tank fell. It just gave loose at that moment. And yeah, it was definitely scary. And yes, it sounded like the house was falling apart. And yes, it sounded like a tsunami had hit the side of the house. All of those things. So Mars is really looking for a queen, I feel, in this Virgo season. Somebody that's got a little bit more control over the emotional waterways. Definitely call to the life and death life phase of the water portal. It will be renewed shortly. So I really feel like this Libra Mars and this Virgo Sun, of course, they will find each other and love each other. And as magicians and pirates, we will learn that all of these energies are flexible, malleable. Through the elements, they are our allies. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching on YouTube. Please check out all of the other content that we have available. I've got a TikTok. I've got all the Facebooks and the Instagrams. I've got a Patreon account. And I also have a Magician's Apprentice program that can also be done online. I can go through all of your planets and placements and aspects for you and explain it all for your own birth chart solar party. So whether you're traveling physically or mentally, may it be in love, light, and shadow. And don't forget the lube to get you through the tight places. And don't forget the wax to make it really sticky when you need to hold on. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.